Hey, I'm Tom.
And I'm Tanner.
Welcome to episode 171 of Bird Squawk.
Well, we're back. A little bit of a hiatus last week. Lot going on. I had a work trip. We had other things going on, but we're back. Birds 3-0. Last time we spoke, they were 1-0, coming off the win against the Vikings on Thursday, coming off the win last night against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So here we go, man. 3-0. Good things you build off of 2 weeks ago. Good things you built off of last night. They're still not at that peak, man. And you handled a team last night. As much as that game was close, it never felt close. Like, they could have put 40 on that team last night, and they finished 25-11. Defense looking good. Offense still working out some kinks, but I think they're in a good spot.
Yeah, man. I mean, that game felt like we could have dropped a 50 burger on them.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, the defense just seems like, wow, they are rejuvenated this year, flying around. You know, we've got guys that are missing, and you really don't feel them missing.
Yeah.
You know, people are filling in on those spots, and the young Bucs, man, woo, that Jalen Carter, how he fell to us is unreal, but wow.
Yeah, I mean, the defense,
what a stud.
100%. I mean, they're leading the charge right now, in my opinion, because the offense hasn't really held up their end of the bargain. They've done enough to get wins and really not stress too much. But defense, man, we know we build on defensive line, but as you said, Jalen Carter, I mean, he is not even just leading rookies. He's leading the league in some defensive categories. Jordan Davis, I know he was hurt a lot last year for a brief period of time, but he is already leaps and bounds better than I think he was last year. I think he came into with more shape, more of a mentality that he wanted to do more than just be a run blocker. He had a phenomenal game last night. And then you got the old guys. I mean, the thing is, Hassan Reddick's going to get going at some point. He was kind of slow guy last year. He started and then came on late. So I have no issues with him starting a little slow. But you got guys like Cox. Like, I think he's not playing as much, so he's a little more rejuvenated. He's not playing as many snaps, so he comes in these big spots and he has a little more juice in the tank. Corner, still sorting that out. Obviously, Maddox being out is a little bit of a downfall, but he's been kind of injury prone. But you got Slay. You got Job, who's just going to be continuing to get more playing time. Am I 100% confident in him? No, but I think he's a young guy that's going to be decent out there. And you got Bradbury. I think it's going to depend on
they kind of rolled Bradbury into that slot.
It's going to depend, I think, on matchups, if they have Bradbury outside or in the slot. I mean, linebackers. We talk about linebackers so much, but Zach Cunningham has been, we were talking about last night. I'm not going to make it seem like this guy's a world beater, but he's doing the job, and he's making you forget that Nakobe Dean's out. And at this point, you got 2 more weeks without Nakobe Dean, and he's back already. So, I mean, that adds to there. And safeties, man, you can say what you want about Vanilla Nice, Ed Reed, Blankenship, baby, but he's a stud, man. I like him a lot,
that dude, man. He is, for an undrafted guy.
Yeah.
Just
big
stepping
tackles,
up.
Interception last night. So him being back was big.
Yeah.
The defense.
Yeah, defense feels. I like it. I like what they're doing.
The main thing is the defense, I think, is they're similar to last year. They're going to do what they're going to do. At times, I think they're going to look bad, but that's when you need the offense to step up. I mean, they're getting the turnovers like they were last year. They're getting to the quarterback. They're getting that pressure.
I kind of feel like if teams could try to spread them out, that would be a little dangerous. But teams going right at them, that ain't going to work.
Yeah, I mean, the run, I think they had like 180 yards last night of offense or something. I know for a fact they had like 63 rushing yards.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the defense, not that I was concerned about the defense going into this season, but that was definitely the side of the ball I was a little more concerned about, getting with Desai, whatever. But they've kind of looked good, man. I mean, they've had some growing pains. They've been fighting with some injuries, but they've looked good. They looked real good.
Feels like the offense, and let's put it in perspective, right? We've won 3 games. Yep. We went up against Belichick.
Yep.
We went up against the Vikings. Yeah. I have no idea.
And then Todd Bowles, who's given Jalen's issues.
Those guys have thrown every look at Jalen, right? And what I was starting out, what I wanted to say is we haven't played a game up to our level
No.
yet.
No, not
and
at all.
we've won,
Yeah.
right? It feels like there's still a work in process. It feels like somebody's in Jalen's head saying, look, man, for us to be successful, you need to stay in that pocket till the last second and get rid of that ball. You know, he's not running as much.
Yep.
When he does run, he looks slow.
Yeah, it doesn't look
he
the
looks
same,
like
for
he's
sure.
not running full tilt. He's just running to get a couple yards and get down. Swift, man, I love that kid. I really do. I just feel like he is, you know, we go back to thunder and lightning to me. You know, it's like bring in Gainwell if you got to, but give Swift the ball. But I really would like to see Penny in some short yardage things. He's like the odd man
I was gonna say, I
right?
think that
He's
dude's the
just-
odd man out. I mean, he couldn't even get in.
whatever happened, he's the odd man out.
Yeah.
You know, you love watching Devontae just bloom. That kid
Yep.
is just going to be a stud. And, you know, hey, AJ is AJ, right? He's
Yeah.
going to come up big. He's going to
big
make
night
it.
last night.
And the line, the offensive
That's what I
line
mean.
is just
I mean,
insane.
We're talking about all
We're
these.
driving Mack truck holes.
Yeah, I was gonna
man.
say. I mean, I love Swift too, but I think I could run for 100 yards with some of these holes.
I
man.
don't think so.
But like that's what I'm saying. We're talking about all these things. I mean, the offensive line playing as we expect, the running game picking right off where they were last year. Arguably could be better at this pace, and that's something we said about Swift. This kid's a weapon. This kid's a dangerous home run hitter if he can stay healthy. And knock on wood, he's been able to do that so far.
Yeah. The knock on him has been his health.
The health,
right?
100%.
Availability.
Yep.
You know, your number one ability is your availability.
Exactly.
And that's been the knock on him staying on the field.
Rushing game has been fine. And you can even, we've talked about, I mean, Goddard's look good, AJ's look good, Devontae's look good. It's just putting it all together. I mean, it's not that Jalen played bad last night. He just didn't really play like lights out. I mean, he made some decent throws.
In retrospect, though, he was flu symptoms. That came out after the game.
I know, but my thing is like,
it
okay,
was real.
I'm good with giving this guy excuses. I mean, the guy he's not going to give himself excuses.
No.
But the thing this year has been,
stud.
you faced Belichick. Well, then you were still getting week 2. It's still early. It's a short week. And now you're playing with flu-like symptoms. I mean, it's week 3. You've gotten stuff to fill in week 3. And I'm not bashing the kid. I think he's played good enough, and he knows the standard is the standard, as he'll say himself.
Keep the main thing the main thing. That's winning.
Exactly. So I'm not worried about him. I truly believe the offense will get clicking at some point. And the issue was they looked good last night from the 20 to the 20, like in between the middle of the field.
We got in the red zone. Some suspect play.
I was about to say,
calling,
part of that is a little bit of suspect play calling.
I think Johnson and you know, Jalen are still feeling each other out. You might be friends forever, know each other forever, but now it's a different thing when you're calling the shots, right?
100%.
And I think they're still trying to feel each other out on what each of them wants to get and what they like.
Yeah, and I mean, I think last night I saw Jalen reading the defense, I thought, very well. Like pre-snap.
Yeah.
You could tell he was seeing a lot of things, seeing what the Bucs were giving him and making adjustments. But I agree, play calling at times was like, I mean, the safety, I mean, why are we throwing that ball? You get the 2 points anyway out of the safety, but it's like, why are we taking a shot there?
It feels like we got something going, and then they gotta throw it.
Yeah, they get cute. They get cute.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, hopefully they're gonna figure this out. And you know, we talk about the line. Hey, we haven't said anything about Juergens either. He got thrown into that position, you know, and that dude is playing lights out.
Yeah, I mean, the line, 100%. I mean, you have guys, I mean, you got 3 centers technically. You got Kelsey, you got Dickerson, and you got Juergens. 3 guys drafted as centers, playing the line, and then Mulata and Lane. And I mean, we're talking about the offense, the defense. I know they get some crap every now and then, but the special teams deserve some kudos last night.
Shout out for Covey,
I mean,
baby.
Elliott's been lights out so far. Covey, I mean, what game was going on last night with Covey? I mean, he was feeling it with some big returns.
You know, and I saw a thing in the past couple of years or whatever. They had the 2 best kickers really are Tucker and Elliott.
I mean, Elliott
and Elliott
has
is
been
even a little bit better than Tucker.
he's been phenomenal. I mean, obviously won us the New England game and made a huge kick, a couple kicks in the Viking game, and made some kicks when you needed them on yesterday. But I mean, that's what I mean. Like we're talking so highly about this team still. Still, the vibes are so high, but it's not really like it's negative. They're not getting things together. You know it's coming.
We're just really, I think, a little bit spoiled from last year, where we knew that offense could just turn it on.
Exactly.
Right?
And they're not there yet.
And it just doesn't feel like we've gotten there yet.
Exactly.
Last night there was some momentum there,
yeah,
where you felt like, wow, here we go. And then we get down to the red zone and it would like fall apart. But between those 20s, it felt like, okay, we're getting there.
Yeah.
So, I feel like the Commanders are coming in at the right time.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I look at the Commanders very similar than I did the Buccaneers. I mean, divisional game's going to add to it a little bit, but you got a quarterback that on his best day can do good things, but not scary.
Yeah.
And then you got a defense that's pretty good. You know what I mean? I mean, I think the Bucs defense is good, and I think the Commanders defense is pretty good. But the offense, very similar. Mediocre quarterbacks, has weapons with McLaurin and Dotson. The running game's okay, but to me, it's a very comparable team to the Buccaneers.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at the weather report. It's supposed to be like 76.
Yeah, I was
gonna
say it's supposed to be
nice. A beautiful day. A 1:00 game, which
the only 1:00 game this year
is the only 1:00
only 1:00 game this year.
At home, so we're sitting here nitpicking.
And we're 3-0.
And we're 3-0.
Exactly.
Right?
I mean, there are people. We didn't lose by 70 this year. I mean, lose by 50 this year.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, I mean, that's the main thing, man. I mean, people want to talk about Dallas. You want to look around the division. Giants are chumps. Commanders, you can forget about them. And then the Cowboys being the Cowboys. You know what I mean? Like, the Cowboys are a good team. I'm not discrediting them. But, I mean, they're going to do their own thing. They lost to the freaking Cardinals this week, man.
I mean, it's
you just
any given Sunday, right?
Classic.
Any given Sunday,
Exactly.
if you don't show up. And that's one thing I think Saucy has these guys prepared.
100%.
Right?
I mean, this team is built right from the bottom up. And
the culture.
Exactly.
I mean,
we talk about that all the time.
It's huge. It's huge. And the infusion of these young Bucks is like, wow, just what we needed.
Exactly.
Man.
I mean,
and
truly.
getting them on the field is even
day
better.
one impacts. That's something this team has lacked for years. And then when they started drafting, the draft that changed was when they took Devontae.
Yes.
That draft changed the whole philosophy. You're getting these young guys on the field, making an impact, and not hoping these guys are going to pan out, but knowing these guys are going to pan out.
We don't need them guys standing on the sideline being cheerleaders. We need them out there knocking some heads, making some plays, being dogs.
Exactly.
Right?
And I mean, that's what I mean. I mean, this is the thing that we talked about in the offseason heavily. Admit it or not, they were going to start slow. The Super Bowl hangover is a real thing. But this early part of the schedule was where you had to rack up wins. And that's what I'm saying. They're winning games, but are they the prettiest? No. But at the end of the day, they're winning.
Yeah, because that back end of the schedule.
I mean, you got that Dolphins game is going to be.
Bills,
I mean, what a game!
Right?
Bills. I'm not as scared of the Bills as I was earlier in the year.
That Dolphins is going to be a true test.
That Dolphins game.
That's going to be a test. At the link.
Kelly Green.
Woo,
that's going to be a prime time. I mean, that is a prime time game, but that is a prime time game. That's going to be crazy.
That one.
Yeah, but this back in the schedule, you gotta get a little bit of a murderer's row here.
Yeah.
So you gotta rack up these wins early when you are, and that's what you're doing. And you're getting better every week. You're getting healthy. I mean, you were pretty banged up last week. You got everyone back other than Boston Scott and Quez might have lost its job. So it's one of those things, man. I mean, they're still blooming. You know what I mean? I'm not worried about them.
Yeah, I feel good where we're sitting right now. You know, and last night, you know, never really felt like that game was in question.
That's what I mean.
I mean, I just felt like, come on, guys.
They left them hang, but it was never scary.
Yeah,
I sat down at 7:00, and my heart rate didn't really change until 10:00.
We left some meat on the bone,
100%.
you know. But you know, anytime you can go on the road and come back with a victory, it's a good
That's what I
thing.
mean. You go on the road, win by 2 touchdowns. I mean, it's hard to win in this league. Hard to win on the road. Say
Yeah.
what you want. 3-0. Commanders this weekend. And we keep this
Let's
thing
go,
rolling, man.
baby.
We keep this thing
Let's
rolling.
go. Let's go,
So
man.
we're back, as always, next Wednesday. Talk about the Commanders game. 4-0 as we gear up to head to LA, baby.
LA, baby. Here we come.
So thank you guys always for watching. We'll make sure to follow us on Instagram at birds_squawk. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Fly Eagles fly.
Go Birds.